Oh, man.
Hey, old man on the mat crew. This is Tony Jones coming at you with another great episode of Old Man on the Mat. Guys, I'm always excited, so I'm not going to beat you over the head with my normal intro screaming. I'm excited. But I am excited to take a big breath every day we get out of bed. God's not done with us yet. Oh, at our age, it's a little harder to move, but that's okay. We're still fired up about life, guys. But hey, real quick, guys, thank you for liking and sharing all our content out there. Remember, we're on all the platforms: Apple, not Shopify, Lord have mercy, Spotify, YouTube. We're everywhere, guys. Like, comment. Let me know if you like what we're doing. Let me know if you don't like what we're doing. It doesn't matter what you say anyway. We're gonna keep moving forward. But anyway, thank you guys for purchasing all our shirts out there. They are literally, our stock is getting low. We got rash guards coming out. We're out there at oldmanonthemat.com, oldmanonthemat.com. So thanks for all your support, guys. But right now, let's jump into this thing. I am fired up for the guy who's going to be with us today. This guy, he knows about martial arts. So we were just talking a few seconds ago. He's a little older, so he loves a good crash mat. I love that saying. And he's a second-degree black belt in Judo. He's a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu out there in Missouri with the team Kronos. Guys, here we go. Let's listen to Mr. John Reed. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for it, man. You know what? The stuff that we do out here, for you guys to come on here and just tell your story, your lives, man. That seriously, you guys are gonna touch someone's lives, and I really appreciate you taking time to do that. I really do, man. But
Well, I appreciate you having me on.
hey, listen, let's start from the beginning, man. How'd you start? How'd you start in martial arts? You know what? You know, was it you got beat up one day as a kid and by a little girl in a wheelchair, or what happened?
I was kind of a late bloomer. I didn't jump on stuff really fast. I was a dorky kid. I was a big fan of pro wrestling, and
Okay.
that kind of inspired me to take up wrestling in high school. So ninth grade, I started wrestling, and it was terrible. I got pinned in all but one match, and quit
Wow.
about mid season. So after all that, I realized it wasn't for me, at least for that time. A lot of the kiddos that I was wrestling with, they'd been doing it since middle school, so I was kind of behind the I guess what everybody else was at. So again, sat out on that.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not one to jump on things real quick, so I still had the itch for things.
Yeah.
I came across UFC 2 of all things, probably
Okay.
about 5 years later, 6 years later, and we never did get one in the video store that I went to, but I did see two, and it kind of made me think about wrestling when I was in high school, and again sat around for a while, didn't really act on a whole lot,
That's
and
all right, man.
I had a buddy that invited me over for Hoist and Hughes,
Okay.
and watched that, and that kind of really did light a fire under me. So at the time, I was like pitifully out of shape. I'm 5'10". Uh, I compete like 210 or something like that. But
Okay.
at the
Yeah, that's
time,
not horrible.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, sir, that's not horrible at all, man.
Well, at the time, I was probably about, probably 250 going on 260, and this isn't a weightlifting 250. This is a sitting on the couch eating Twinkies and whatnot. So
The
I
fun
knew I had
260.
and I'm not dogging anybody that is that weight and height. It's just for me, it wasn't a good build,
Yeah, I
and
get it.
I knew that I had to do something because going up and down stairs, carrying in groceries, I was worn out. So as I said, after seeing Hoist and Hughes, it kind of lit that fire under my tuchus again, and started
Okay.
checking out some different places. First place I went to, it was an unusual experience to say the least. Um,
Okay. What was
the
it?
so, and I don't like to use the term McDojo, but it was interesting. So the owner guy, he had me get in with his right hand man and had me put on mitts and show me basically that I didn't know how to punch, which that's
Okay.
fine. But then the closer, the guy that was, I guess, the person that made the sale, he took me to this back room, and like thinking back on it now, it was like unusually empty. Like it was weird. So, like if it was my office, I'd probably have like trophies or posters. At the
Oh
time, like
yeah,
Steven Seagal or whatever. But now, like, I'd have like posters of John Jones or something like that, maybe some trophies
yeah.
sitting in my office, and it was oddly empty. So
Oh
this
wow.
guy, yeah, this guy's like really hitting me hard. It's like I'm at and not to knock anybody that sells used cars, but this guy was really trying to get me to buy the clear coat. And what what was hard about it was like he was really nailing me on like, well, it's a 3-year contract and you really need to sign up today and this and
Wow.
that. And so I did what any red-blooded alpha male would do, and I said, I'll have to talk to my wife about it.
That's
So,
right.
so I never went back, and still wanted to get into something. Like I said, that bug bit me, and I guess I felt like I had some unfinished stuff from being in high school and having a horrible partial wrestling season. So I
Yeah.
came across judo in a community college catalog, and thought that it looked fairly similar to jiu-jitsu, and started that up, and did my first tournament probably within, oh man, it was probably within 8 months. And
Okay.
after
Nice.
that, fell in love with it.
Wow. What was your best part of, or I should say the most favorite part about judo? Because I can tell you what I hated about judo in a heartbeat, but what do you love about it?
Uh, I'm not a fan of. I'll go with what I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of some of the bum calls because, and again, this is just my personal take. If somebody's
Yeah.
a judoka and they want to dog on me, I understand. But like I've had a few bum calls where, depending on where the ref was standing, and maybe like there was kind of reversal mid throw,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was kind of disappointing. But just playing it when there's no medals at stake or anything like that, it's awesome. It's fun. I love it.
Yeah, judo was a lot of fun. I did that in college, and like I said, the only thing I hated about judo was to keep getting up after a throw.
Yeah,
After getting
yeah.
thrown, it just drug. It's just like you were just picking up lead weight, like someone put a fridge on your back after the 10th time of getting thrown. You're trying to get up again. Oh, it's the
Oh yeah.
drills, man. But I enjoyed it thoroughly, though.
Right, right. Yeah, but
Oh
it's
man,
it's a fun sport to play. It's just it's taxing on the body. Like
yeah.
uh, going to a lot of tournaments, I encountered a lot of older fellas that would kind of poo poo the fact that I was using a crash pad and this and that, and a lot of them walked with a bit of a
The hips out of line and everything else.
kind of a little bit bent over, and
Yeah.
we're very very blessed where we're at, where we have a we have a pole vaulter crash pad, so we
Oh,
can do
those are
some pretty
awesome.
yeah, we can do some pretty big stuff. It's not always convenient for certain things,
Yeah,
but we've kind of learned to work around it, and it's nice. It's
that's cool.
makes life a little bit easier.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. If I'm a crash, like you said, a good crash mat, it's all right, man.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome, man. I heard you say something about you thought it was very close to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now I know they have very different ground games from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
I think you tell me if I'm wrong, because you're a second degree black belt in Judo. I'm a brown belt, but that's from 20 plus years ago. So I haven't practiced forever, other than what I practice on the mat with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now, what's the difference between the two on the ground as a groundwork?
Time. So, I'm sure you're familiar with Kasagatami. So, like,
Yep.
great pen in judo, but as far as translating over to jiu-jitsu, I mean, you've seen Josh Barnett use it, and
Yeah.
he was successful with it. But if you have 20 seconds to get the pin, then that's fine. But if you've got like an entire match where you're trying to hold somebody in casa, and their world is the ground,
Yeah.
it's going to be a different story. And if you don't have what I've encountered, if you don't have something locked in, we'll say 7 to 10 seconds. If
Mhm.
they don't see progress, they're probably going to stand you back up. And this is just
Yeah.
again what I've encountered. I'm not saying that I'm a national referee or anything like that.
No, no, not at all. But I get what you're saying, though. I do get what you're saying. You see that a lot, But it's like the action. Like I'm sure. I don't know if you did watch CJI. Was it Craig Jones Invitational?
Yes,
Did
sir.
you watch that?
Yes.
And that's the kind of action you're looking for. Like with what was those two kids' names? I just had a brain fart. There was like all over the place, man. It was some great action. There was no, I think it was Rotolo and Tackett. Does that sound
That
right?
sounds right. Yes.
And that match to me was like amazing. Then you see Rotolo go against the guy for the million, and it's just, he's laying there. And I get he has I know he knows he's doing down there, but it's not exciting,
Right, right. And my understanding is that's kind of what they tried to do with judo is, by taking out the leg grabs and things like that to kind of differentiate it from wrestling, make it a
Mhm.
little more aesthetically pleasing, where they're not just sitting on the ground trying to choke each other.
Yeah, I get it, man. But it's always fun to be choked. I'm sorry, to choke somebody. Excuse me, I slipped.
Yes, sir. I prefer to be the choker, not the chokey.
Right? But
Yes, sir.
I have ample time of working that hand out, that tapping hand. They call me the
Mhm.
tapper because I tap that hand so fast, man.
I can appreciate that.
Now, when did you join? Have you done any other kind of martial arts other than the two, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the Judo?
I tried Taekwondo when I was a kid, but my brother was a little bit rowdy, so I guess he was already kind of a scrapper, and that kind of went to his head. So my parents pulled us out of that pretty quickly.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. When did you join Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Let's see. Judo was like 34. That was like 2007. So probably like 5 or 6 years later. And I had, rolled on the ground with buddies and stuff, and we watched videos, but I don't really consider that. We had a purple belt that would come in from time to time, and he'd always, embarrass us and stuff. And it just, I kind of, again, didn't work real fast as far as getting somewhere, but um, once I found a good school, I jumped on that and kind of started getting crazy with it. I was probably about 2012 now that I think about it. It was an MMA school, and it
Okay.
was primarily no gi.
Oh, really? Okay. So do you
Yeah,
prefer gi or no gi, or is it just doesn't matter?
I'm actually more of a gi guy.
Yeah.
It's just I I won my first couple of jiu-jitsu tournaments just strictly as a judo guy,
Yeah.
and once I got thrown in with a couple blue belts, I realized I really need to work on this stuff. Take it a little more serious.
Yeah. Yeah. And I see here that you won was it gold in 6 states like ADC, New Breed, Fuji, all those guys?
Yes, sir. 44 more states to go.
Oh man, that's good stuff, man. When did those happen?
Oh no, I'm just saying. As far as the um, just throughout the years, the ADCC was the one in September in Chicago.
Okay.
That was a super cool experience. Um, if I guess I would consider it like a movie type experience. You go in there and it's um, they have a DJ and it's a little chaotic, but it's super cool. And seeing big names like Big Dan and then
Wow.
Josh Neer and what's the young girl's name? Helena, I want to say.
Oh yeah, I've seen her, man.
Yeah,
She's
seeing those
phenomenal.
people, it was a pretty cool experience. A little nerve wracking, but it was exciting.
Oh
And
man.
kind of contrasting that with like some of the jujitsu and even judo tournaments that were a little more lay I don't want to say laid back, but not so in your face or rock and rolly. It was a cool experience doing that though.
Oh,
And
that's
I like the
awesome,
rule
man.
set. I love the rule set.
Well, how was the rule set different? What was it? What did you like
Oh, with
about it?
the ADCC, as far as
Yeah.
the first half, no points, and then the second half, that's when the points kick in.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. So the first half, you like trying to submit, you're trying to submission only kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're not as worried about the takedowns. Like in the finals, this fella, man, he threw me for a loop. He got a really good Ipanse Onagi on me, and
Wow.
that wasn't the way I wanted to start it off, but um, I was able to come back and get the points at the end. But it's a cool rule set, and if I get another opportunity to do one, I'm definitely gonna do it.
Oh man, that's good stuff, man. I mean, looking at those guys at those levels, that had to be walking in the door. You're like, oh, because I know when the first time that I came to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, it was like that rock star. I thought just because from all the martial arts I've done, it wasn't music playing in the dojo. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
then you go to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, they got guys on the mat chewing gum. They're got the music blaring. I'm thinking, what is this stuff, man?
Painted grass.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, what is going on? And guess what? The guy that's chewing the gum with the painted toenails is choking everybody.
Right. He's a mat enforcer.
Oh yeah. You know what? A funny thing was it last week? Was it last week? Yeah, it was last week. I finally got a chance to see the one of our mat enforcers go to work. It was beautiful scene, man. It was beautiful, man. I don't want to call anybody's names out, but it was open mat and a new guy was there and he had something to prove. And it was so funny because he knows who he is. He's gonna listen to this, but the mat enforcer's back was hurting. He was out for like 2 days with back, but he was just there to watch the class, watch everybody. And he's a purple belt, and he saw this guy was like just trying to rip everybody's head off. Everybody's just trying to roll and have a good time.
Mhm.
And he's like, the mat enforcer stepped up, put that boy in his place so fast. I loved every bit of it. It was great, man. But that's awesome, man. Now, what kind of work do you do out there? Are you a regular career? Or are you working in the martial arts area?
I'm actually a social worker.
Oh wow,
So
okay. My sister did
yeah,
that.
a nice break from the stress.
Yeah. Well, I think that's not stressful.
It is. I'm just saying the training is a nice break
Oh,
from.
okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, man,
Yeah.
where are you doing it? Where are you doing it at? Social
Yeah.
worker.
Yeah.
Oh man, how long have you been doing that?
Oh man, probably uh close to 20 years.
Okay. Okay.
I went
Awesome.
to school for criminal justice, got my master's in criminal justice, undergrad in criminal justice and psychology, and that's what I wanted to do. But in the meantime, until I got established with a career, I did a couple positions in social work and just kind of I don't know, gave me the warm fuzzies helping people out. And
Okay.
it's not the most lucrative career, but at the end of the day, if you've really helped somebody out, even like one person during the week, it's kind of nice, kind of a nice payoff.
That's cool, man. That's cool. But this is what I talk about a lot. See, this is why I like to know what people do for a living because in the martial arts community, it's so huge, and you never suspect certain people to be a part of the martial arts community. When you meet them, you never know. And you turn
Right,
around and meet some of these guys, and they're just like, "Wow, you in martial arts? Are you in martial arts? You're in martial arts?" It's crazy, man. It's pretty cool, man.
absolutely. The mat is like a melting pot.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it was kind of funny. My next door neighbor, we got to talking and found that he was in the martial arts too, like a second degree black belt in Kukiwan, I think it's pronounced
Hmm.
Kokiowan. And I was like, wow, he's a therapist and everything else. I'm like, what do you do with your patients? You just start kicking them in the head? I'm
Uh,
like, man, but it is cool, man. One thing I find out is and I lump is like the our podcast is Old Man on the Mat.
mhm.
And the reason we talk about old man, because I really do believe, we have people who were athletes back in the day or who's not ready to hang it up yet, right? So I think a lot of guys, men and women at our age, are always trying to stay active. Now, you've been at the little older, you're not 12, or are you? No.
No, sir.
Uh,
A
you know,
long
what
time
do
for
you,
that.
a little bit. Now, what do you do differently when you train? How do you modify your training now? Do you go out there and go balls to the wall every time, or what do you do?
Well, you were talking about the mat enforcer, so like, I actually have a guy that's 65 that does judo with us, and he comes in and he competes, but he'll spend more time doing technique. And I've always stressed to like my buddies that are close to me in age, you know, it's not a bad thing if you turn somebody down to roll. Like if you've got somebody that's kind of a little more hyper, a little more wound tightly.
Yeah,
Um, if you make up an excuse to go to the bathroom or something like that, I mean, I try and roll with everybody.
yeah,
Um, I'm mindful of certain things though, like a guy that just graduated college and is a wrestler. I'll probably ask him if maybe we can spend a little bit more time on the ground than trying to stand up with him.
yeah.
But
Single
it's
leg
just
shooting.
as far as the training, I'm just a little more mindful, a little more careful with some of the things that I do. Um, as far as like the preparation, like working out and stuff like that. When I excuse me, when I first started, I was running like crazy, and I did that for probably about 4 or 5 years, and then I didn't know the first thing about it, so I was running on hard surfaces. I was wearing terrible shoes.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
I morphed over into running hills, and then finally I just kind of opted to start doing the elliptical. It's a lot easier on my knees.
yeah,
It doesn't make up for the cardio that you get on the mat, but it's a nice substitute, nice supplemental cardio to kind of
yeah.
help out with things. And then like with lifting, I still have the moments like I'm in the gym and the ego goes to my head or whatever, and I just want to see how much I can bench. But that stuff I've kind of tried to get away from. I'm just kind of lifting to stay in shape and maintain.
Yeah.
Um, I
That
don't
makes sense.
recall ever once, losing a match because my bench wasn't high enough. But plenty of times when my cardio was just not where it should be, I I,
Yeah.
I felt the need to improve upon that, and that's
Yeah.
something that I spent a lot of time working on.
Well, that makes sense, because it is a different when you're grappling and rolling around, it's a different kind of cardio,
Yeah,
as opposed
absolutely.
to being out there running and lifting and things like that. Now, let me ask you about your mindset on the mat because I talked to a guy the other day and it was a great conversation. Literally, it's when I was out there doing one of my 5Ks and not a running 5K. I'm not out there. I'll do maybe sometime if I run, I'll do like a fartlek where you run a block, walk a block,
Hmm.
but most time it's just me just out there walking, trying to keep the wind. I was talking to a guy, a little older guy, and he actually did martial arts before, and he said the hardest part he's running into is not letting go. Almost how do you say it? Not letting go of the glory he had before. So it's hard for him to get on the mats nowadays because he knows he's going to get beat up because he's older. And I'm like, I get it, but you know, that's kind of rough though, right? Do you have that stuff in your head? Like, man, I used to be good at this, and why am I getting beat up by these guys now? And that kind of stuff.
I've kind of accepted that pretty much anybody I'm gonna compete against is gonna like the last thing I did was the jiu-jitsu in Branson a
Mm,
few weeks ago, and um, in my gi division, the fellow was like 39, and again I'm 51, um, and I did 2 out of 3 as far as winning, so
yeah.
I'm still out there trying to do my thing, but it's gonna happen. That's life. I know at some point I'm gonna have to hang it up, or
Yeah.
just go specifically to like IBJJF, where I know that I'm gonna have a guy that's pretty close to my age and rank, as
Mhm.
opposed to like when I first started, I'd get maybe somebody that was 20 pounds heavier and 15 or 20 years younger.
Oh
Uh,
man.
they're doing a little bit better with things as far as being able to pre-register and you can see who's signed up.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I know that that's something that I'm going to have to deal with eventually. I'm hanging in there for right now, but I'm not competing at the highest level either. It's local tournaments, but
Yeah. Well, that's still good though, man. Don't bring that down. That's pretty cool though, man. You're still out there competing at your age, man. You know.
trying to.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
dang good, man. I was talking about that. I said, my mindset is when I'm on the mat, I'm not trying to compete with anybody, but I still get a little bit like the guy was talking about. I think his name was Jerry. Um,
Mhm.
but it would. It's just I said, you know what? Sometimes I feel that. You know what I mean? It's not a ego thing or anything, but it's like it's a body memory thing. Like, man, I remember I should be able to move faster than this, or I should be able to, push this guy off me is, faster or harder or something. And you just get smushed and you sit down there under a big guy thinking 20 years ago, this wouldn't be happening.
Right, right.
I don't
Absolutely.
know, but it's still fun. Like you said, we're still in the game. We're still out there doing this thing. And I think that's huge because at our place, I'm the oldest person there, you know,
Mhm.
29. I'm still saying that. So hold on that with me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm still the youngest guy. I'm still the oldest guy out there, and it's an ego boost to know that I can roll with some of these guys. And then sometimes it's just so disheartening when these young 20 something year old guys, half your age, are just running circles around you. It's like,
Absolutely.
oh man. Now, do you have any major injuries or any kind of injuries that ails you all the time that you have to modify for?
Not really, just the knees. I had to pack it in as far as running was concerned. Like I said, I did everything wrong. I should have done my research. But it, let's see. As far as injuries that have occurred, in my first judo match ever, I got a broken rib. I ended up winning, but I broke my rib. So surprisingly, I stuck with it after that. Other than
Wow.
that, a broken toe here and there, and then mostly like skin stuff that I kind of encountered along the way. Like, I had staph once, I had,
Yeah.
ringworm a couple times, but other than that, nothing major.
Yeah, well, that's a blessing, man. If you haven't had any major broken things or, had to sit out
Absolutely.
for a long time, that's a blessing, man. You are blessed,
Abs-
man. But I
Absolutely.
think it's kind of funny how most guys that do, a grappling or, coming out of sport like that, we have broken toes as opposed to, big things that can really, help us out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I have kind of started becoming that tape guy. Um, if I've got something wonky going on with a toe or a finger or something like that, I get grief about taping up. But uh, I'm
Hey,
51, so there's that.
right. There's that, man.
Yeah.
Tape, tape, tape. I have six rolls of my tapes all in my bag at all time, man. I'll go through that with you, man. I'm right there with you. Now, what does your rolling look like when you? I'm assuming you guys do 5 minute rounds. You do probably like 5 or 6 rounds per, per training, correct? Something like that.
Yes, sir.
Now, do you stay in for each round, or do you like roll one, roll one, rest one, or something like that?
I generally try and stay in. I mean, it kind of depends on what I've got coming up, but I generally try and stay in. Um, some rounds I'll play my A game so I can catch my breath. Just be super top heavy and kind of catch my breath. And then other times, if I'm really working on something like from deep half or butterflies or something like that, I probably it's not my A game, but something that I need to work on. I might kind of alternate between rounds with that sort of thing. It depends on who I'm rolling with too. Obviously, if
Right.
I've got a real killer in there, um, you know, I'm just kind of trying to survive mostly.
You still do the I'm not gonna let them see me sweat walk off the mat.
Try to.
Oh man. Now, what's your nutrition look like? On a daily basis. Do you watch that pretty carefully, or how's that go?
That could be better. I try to watch it. I'm a big fan of leafy greens, chicken and fish.
Okay.
When I first started, it was horrible. Like I'd leave judo and I'd get like a Dr. Pepper and a Heath or a Score bar, whichever one was available. And
Mm-hmm.
after a while, I realized I'm not really doing myself any favors here. So that kind of slowly morphed into, tea and a pack of peanuts or something like that. Which from the gas station, that's still not great, but
Hey,
it's
it's better than
it
nothing.
was a step in the right direction.
Right. That's pretty cool. So you're not really strict on your diet. You don't have like where I eat this in the morning, I eat this in the afternoon, I eat this at night before I go to bed and all that kind of stuff.
No, I really should be, but I just kind of try and stick towards the chicken and fish and turkey and those type of things. I
Yeah.
don't eat a whole lot of red meat. I try and stay away from the fried stuff. And like I said, I would enjoy a nice salad more than I do a cheeseburger.
Okay. Okay.
Unless it's
Well, that
post tournament, in which case I'm enjoying that cheeseburger like a madman.
right. Like the last
Yeah,
one on earth, man. You know,
yeah, yeah.
and what I'm finding too is, and this is what I like doing. What we're doing is just that they're talking to people like yourself because you have a different array of different body types and nutrition things, especially in our age group. And I know with me, I'm not the best on nutrition. I like my bourbon, I like my cigars every now and then. I like to, hang out, eat the wrong things. But I'm trying to, what do you say, still do all that and get in shape. Is that possible?
I, I think some people are just blessed and it comes easier for them. Um,
Yeah.
I'm unfortunately not one of those people, but again, my dietary situation is not the best either. So there's that.
There's that. There's that. I get it, man. But that's pretty cool though. If you're eating better, you're trying something. That's the thing. When you look at all the stuff that's floating out there about nutrition, and I had the
Mhm.
opportunity to talk to a guy who was 57 years old. His physique is phenomenal. And he's in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a white belt, and to watch what this guy does, and he doesn't really skimp on food. He eats what he wants to. Basically, he stays away from sugar and all that kind of stuff. But he
Mhm.
still eats what he wants. It just blows my mind. There are people out there like that, man.
I know I have a couple buddies like that it's just they could eat probably 10,000 calories in one day and not even gain a pound. I know that's a slight hyperbole, but
Yeah,
you
but it
get the
seems like
idea.
that, right?
Some people are really blessed in that way.
Yeah, and then some of them I hate them for it. you know,
Yeah.
if I, like I said, I like my bourbon on the weekend, and I like my cigar on the weekend, and I know every time I have I probably have like one, maybe two glasses of bourbon, and I'm
Mhm.
like, gosh, I shouldn't be doing this, but it's so good. I didn't get this
Okay.
age. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now, what's your goal when it comes to your fitness goal out there?
Uh, just to maintain my weight. Like, I I found that where I'm at right now is probably pretty decent. I mean, I could cut weight and probably be a little bit better with my cardio and things,
Mhm.
but I find that like the 210-pound guys, they don't have all the crazy guards that say your 180s and 175 guys do.
Yeah.
They're a little more along the lines of where I'm at with things. Um, I have tried cutting weight. Like I think I sent you a picture of one of my matches where um, the I ended up getting bumped into division. The guy, no exaggeration, the guy was like probably 320 pounds, like 6'8".
Oh,
Played
jeez.
semi-pro football, and at
Oh,
the time I was like 210, and I actually cut weight for that tournament. And
wow.
my gi guy, he was right around me. I think he was like probably 220, 230. But this guy was just huge, and that's why at Masters, unless you see it up front or it's a pre-register where you know who's going to be in the bracket, cutting weight is a terrible idea in my opinion.
Yeah.
I've
Wow. You
been
didn't even know until you saw that guy, huh?
No, no. It was just kind of a situation where we were both the same age. I think it was like 46 at the time. But we were both the same age, and he just happened to be about 100 pounds heavier and about, I don't know, a head taller.
Jeez. Jeez. How'd that match go?
Oh, it was terrible. I tried clinching up with him, and he tossed me pretty quickly. And
Oh,
then
man.
if one match wasn't enough, it was best out of three, and I did the same thing the second time. I lasted a little bit longer, but the guy just he he worked me pretty good.
It's one of those you just remember all the time back in the
Absolutely,
day.
absolutely, yeah.
Now, what's your game plan when you go out there? What do you do? The guy steps on. Do you say, "I'm going to go down. I'm going to take him. I'm going to throw him"? What do you do?
Yeah, I've got my go-to throws. I've got a ton of videos on YouTube, so like it's no secret that I've got like two or three that I really like: Tayatoshi, Ochigari. Um, Sometimes whatever happens to land in my lap. If it's no gi, then I'm going to try and maybe wrestle a little bit. But if it's gi, I'm going to try and go for one of those, and then just be top heavy. I know that doesn't sound very fancy, but it's worked so far.
You know what? You don't have
In
to do
most
all the
cases, some
barabolas and all
cases.
that.
I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead. I was saying you don't have to do all the barabolas and all that kind of stuff to win something.
No, and I know there's probably guys at my age that are doing crazy inverted stuff all over, but I just my body doesn't feel like it would allow me to do a whole lot of that, so I kind of stick to what I know that I can do.
That's awesome. That's smart though. Why change up? Like the one guy at CGI that a couple weeks ago, the guy going for the $1 million. He just stayed on the ground, pull guard the whole time, and that's what his go-to. So why change up, right?
Absolutely, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you're gonna try anything fancy out there. So when you go out there, do you like you say you have a game plan? You as soon as you lock up, you're gonna have a couple throws. You have well, you say you had some YouTubes on YouTube, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Okay,
it's again
some videos.
nothing like 5-star quality. It's just kind of I don't know, a video diary of my competitions. Just I guess more or less to show my kiddo whenever she gets older.
That's
So
cool, man.
yeah,
That's cool. That
yeah.
is really, really cool. It's like a running journal. That's
Kind of,
cool.
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I didn't want to say diary because that's for 16-year-old girls. So I'm gonna
Right,
say
right,
journal.
yeah. With the princess pawn,
Right, right.
absolutely.
oh, oh, man. Now, does your wife do martial arts also or no?
No, she's come on a couple times. Like my stepson, he started a while back, and he won his first in-house tournament, and then he competed in a judo tournament a couple weeks ago and did pretty well. So
Oh,
he seems to be into it. I've got an older daughter that she tried judo for a while, but didn't like being underneath sweaty boys, so that wasn't really her thing.
I get it, man. I
Yeah.
get it. You know, I had 2 daughters too, man. They're older and, out living their life, but they the youngest one took to martial arts. The oldest one was she's too much of a girly girl, she says. She don't want to deal with that. But she's a good shot. So that makes dad proud.
That makes up for it.
Exactly. Now, you into firearms also?
Somewhat. Like I'm not like I guess somebody that goes to a lot of gun shows or anything like that, but I like to go shoot every once in a while.
All right. Are you any good?
No, not really.
He said, nope.
It's kind of like whacking golf balls. It's fun to do, but I'm never going to be on the PGA. So
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, do you try any bladed weapons at all, or no?
I've messed around with them, but it's not really something I've spent a whole lot of time in. One of my buddies that I do judo with, he's into a whole lot of different stuff. Like he's brought his sticks in, and we played around with those before. His nunchucks, obviously. He does some bladed stuff, and he showed me some stuff. And I guess if I see somebody pull out a knife, I'm probably just going to run the other way.
Smart move, right?
I feel like if you're in a knife fight, chances are, even if you win, you're not going to win.
Yeah, yeah. And it's weird for me. I'm not afraid of a gun. I'm in Chicago, suburb of Chicago, and I'm not afraid of guns or anything. But a knife just freaks me out, man. It's
Right,
like, man,
yeah.
it's like because he can cut you a few times, and those things suck, man.
I can imagine, yeah.
Oh man.
I mean,
Now,
I've done cutting carrots. I've almost cut my finger off.
so you're you're not a master cutter, huh?
No, sir. No, sir. And that was just me.
Oh, brother. Now, how many days a week do you train? Because I heard you say judo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, still doing both, all right?
Yes, sir. So BJJ like 2 days out of the week, and then judo we have one night out of the week that we do. I'd like to do more, but for me, 3 days a week is kind of the sweet spot. Two, I don't feel like I'm being as productive as I should be, and then like any more than three, I've done that before, and I just feel like I'm a little more achy, and just feel like I'm probably a little more prone to getting hurt.
Yeah.
And I have bumped it up when I have stuff coming up, but as far as like an ongoing basis, I just feel like three is kind of the sweet spot. And then I do cardio every day at lunch. I'm blessed to have a gym right down the street, so I usually hit the gym and come back smelling pretty fresh.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. So you're basically doing some kind of workout every day for the most 5 days a week at least, right?
5 days a week. Weekends are kind of hit and miss. If I get time, I'll jump on the elliptical here at the house, or I try and lift weights at the house, so I'm not away from the family any more than I need to be.
Yeah.
But that's, again, I'm not lifting real heavy or anything like that. I'm just kind of lifting to maintain, so it's not any crazy workout.
Okay. Okay. But you're staying active, so that's a huge plus. Do you stretch
Right.
much at all?
Not as much as I should. I before we roll, before we train, I usually try and stretch out pretty well, because sometimes I'll wake up the next morning and feel like a 90-year-old man. But
Right.
if I'm a little more proactive and try and stretch just a little bit, I'm gonna be a little bit better off the next day.
That's cool. And I've never been much into stretching, but I've been starting doing stretching every morning and every night for about a month now, and I do feel pretty good. Usually I just do little toe touches and hip shakes before you go on the mat.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm starting to feel everything. So I've been like trying that for a month, and it feels pretty good, man. It feels pretty good to do all that
Absolutely,
stuff, man. And
for sure.
for as much as martial arts I've been involved in, I've never been very flexible ever. So I've been cursed with the tight joints.
Same here, and that's kind of what I was referencing earlier, as far as like the lack of inverted techniques. My hips don't really allow that sort of thing.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Now, the gym you're working out now, do you guys have like different are you the oldest guy there, or is it like a different range of all guys you can train with?
Pretty wide range. So I work out at a couple different places, but kind of going back to the age thing, I actually, and I think I may have mentioned it earlier. There's a 65-year-old guy that comes in and
Yeah.
does judo with us,
Oh yeah, you
and
did say that. Yeah, yeah.
he's pretty solid technique wise. He had a base in wrestling, so and I think he trained a little bit before he came to us, but he actually still competes. He competed a couple weeks ago along next to my stepson, and he's probably going to compete again here in the next couple months. So
Wow.
kind of inspires me
Wow.
that like I need to rethink my old man mentality of I'm getting too old for this nonsense. I have a
Yeah.
65-year-old guy out there that's kicking butt and taking names.
That'll make you wake up every day like, dang, he's doing it. Oh man,
Yes,
but
sir.
it's so crazy out there. So many guys that are age and older, they're still actually doing it. It does pull you, because a lot of times I want to just, like you said, I'm too old for this stuff. I have nothing to prove. I can go off and do something else. But if that guy's still out there, why not, right?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Oh, man,
And I do
65
have a
years
lot
old.
of buddies that are on T. That's not really something I've crossed over into myself yet, but
Yeah.
uh, probably something that I'll have to look into one of these days. But as of now, I'm still natural, other than the occasional ice cream or Dr. Pepper.
Right. Do you take supplements at all?
No, I really don't. Like my wife bought me a box of vitamins that sat on my nightstand for probably about 6 months, and finally she threw them away once she
Oh
realized they
man.
weren't getting any lighter. So I know these are terrible things. Like I said, I need to be better with my diet. I need to take supplements. I need to, just do things differently. But it's kind of worked for me up to this point. Again,
Yeah.
I'm not like talking that I'm like world championship level, but just as far as competing and still staying active, I feel pretty good. I went to my high school reunion probably about a year or so ago, and not to say anything bad about any of those folks, but like I felt like I was I don't know, I felt like I was Arnold Schwarzenegger compared to some of those folks because I felt like a lot of those guys looked like they were kind of on their last leg and kind of felt bad for some of them. And I just, it's just one of those things that I guess some of them didn't really do a whole lot after they got to a certain point in life, and it's kind of sad to be honest that
Yeah.
some of those
Yeah.
folks are just kind of throwing in the towel at this point.
But that's the normal thing we see nowadays, and that's what we're
Unfortunately.
trying to stop, which I'm not trying to get on my soapbox, but by no stretch am I fit and healthy and all that kind of stuff. But I'm
Mhm.
like you're still out there doing it at that age. You're not sitting on the couch all day, That's dang good, man. And
Trying
probably
to.
the same as you, man. I look at on Facebook at some of my friends and from high school and stuff and college. I'm like, man, they look so old. And I start
Right,
thinking, man, wait a minute, that guy was younger than me. Holy cow.
right.
Oh
And
man.
I kind of think back to like when I was in high school and I did try so there a couple different things like the wrestling, and I think, well, maybe if I would have stuck with it, my knees would have been shot well before they were, and I probably would have never discovered this later on in life, and
Yeah.
I I wouldn't be living happy like I am now. I'd be a little
Mhm.
more broken down and sitting on the couch like you were talking about. So
Yeah.
I guess things happen for a reason.
I was just thinking that. I was literally just thinking that. Everything happens for a reason. It really does. And we don't know what it is, but, hey, praise God, you're still out there doing it. Your knees are great, other than little shots. That's okay. At that age of what you're doing, the activity stuff you're doing 5 days a week at least, come on. That's all you got, a little bad knees here and there. That's pretty good, man. That's damn good.
Yeah. I feel like I'm doing okay. Again, not world championship level, but if I'm doing better than I was 6 months ago, then I'm that's a win for me.
There you go. There you go. But I know you said that a few times, not championship level, but man, you're competing all the time. You're in the gym all the time. At this age group we're in, for the as a whole, I would say, I'm just not throwing anybody out there under the bus, but as a whole, for you to be doing what you're doing, that's got to be the top 10% of the people out there in that age group. They're still doing stuff, man. The rest of the people are not really doing that much.
Right. And I try not to compare myself to younger folks. It's hard not to sometimes, but I'm very blessed in that I do have a buddy that he's been training about the same length of time, and we're the roughly the same age, roughly the same size. So
Yeah.
um, when I roll with him, it kind of paints a picture of where I should be at.
Yeah.
And he says the same thing, that like he has difficulty not comparing himself to these 25-year-old guys that just got out of college, but
Yeah.
having a partner that's right around the same age, same size, same experience. It's a nice thing.
Yeah. You guys like bounce things off of each other and stuff? Are you like, what you call it? I don't want to say that, but I guess accountability partner kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll check in with each other as far as like class day. Hey, how you doing? You want to work on anything in particular, or this or that? And
Yeah.
when we roll, just kind of like this is what I was doing. How did it feel? That sort of thing.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. You're talking to your partner. That's really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. You know, once again, that's another thing that's different than traditional martial arts because there was not a lot of talking on the match. You know, that's what I think I love because you can tell I like to talk. So being in Brazilian
Hmm.
Jiu-Jitsu, you can talk to your partner, you can chew gum together and listen to music,
Right. Yeah.
you know, and even paint your
Absolutely.
fingernails, I guess, toenails.
Toenails. Yeah.
The first time I saw that, I tell you, that threw me because this one of the guys at our gym, he's like really nicest guy. He's a black belt. He's just broad, stud looking dude. And I don't know what we are doing. I saw his toes. I'm like, wait a minute. He's got his toes painted. But I wasn't going to say anything about it. I just knows in my head.
Right.
I wasn't going to say
I,
anything bad about it.
I think the first time I noticed something like that was Chuck Liddell, and I'm like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure there's not too many people that were at the time. He was the guy, and at the time, I'm sure not too many people were giving him any grief about it.
Right. Could you imagine? Dude, why you painting your toenails? Now, speaking of that, who is somebody you looked up to? You know what I mean? Everyone has somebody that you look up to, say, well, I'll watch that guy's videos and stuff. I'll check him out. You know, watch what he's doing here. Anybody like that you like in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
I,
or in martial arts at
I
all?
tend to I tend to lean more towards like the judo guys, like Travis Stevens. I
Oh,
really
yeah.
like a lot of his videos.
Yeah.
Shintaro, he's got some really good judo videos, and he
Is
does a
that that
lot of
real
judo.
short? Is that that real short guy?
I don't know. I don't know how tall he is. I can't really get a feel for like how tall he is based
Okay.
on his videos, but he's got some really good stuff. Trying to think on the BJJ side. There's a ton of them that I
Yeah.
like, but I tend to lean more towards the judo for BJJ guys.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Hey, it's martial arts. That's what I'm just looking for, martial arts. Because we had Nefeli Papadakis on here. She's a judo Olympian. She was on a couple weeks ago. But
Uh-huh.
Nefeli's like 20, I forgot her age, 25, 24. She's such a young girl. And she's done all that stuff for so long. So, and to be able to train with her, she is somebody I look up to in judo. It's crazy, man. It don't have to be age, I guess, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, do you think you're going to open your own studio out there?
Uh, I've got a long way to get to my black belt.
Well, I mean, in judo too. I mean, in judo and all that, you know, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's. I don't want to say it's my club. It's our club because
Okay.
it wouldn't be a club without everybody showing up. So
Yeah.
it's a group club. So it's and if somebody has really something really cool that they want to bring to the table, then we're working on that. But as far as like my own studio, at some point it'd be kind of nice, but at this time I'm just kind of living life and enjoying my activity.
Okay. Without the major headache, that's for sure.
Yeah, I've so I had a guy that I was training under, and um, I just saw a lot of the problems that came along with running the gym. Chasing people down for tuition, and I know a lot of people do like the automatic withdrawal and all that
Yeah.
stuff, but just all kinds of dealing with personalities. Well, how come my kid didn't get promoted and stuff
Oh
like
yeah.
that?
Oh yeah.
And that stuff comes along with it. It's but I guess saying all that, just seeing him kind of step back from that and then just kind of get back into teaching, working at somebody else's club or school.
Yeah.
I just saw how that kind of can wear on you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It can make you crazy. That's for sure. I had a studio
Yeah.
for what, almost 10 years, and what was it 3 years ago? Gave it up, and I'm enjoying myself without having the headaches. Man, love going to two gyms. I go to Aces training, then I go to Lake County Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and all I can do is roll. I don't have to look at anything. I don't have to teach anything. I don't have to chase anybody money. I just go roll and get beat up. It's fun.
That's the dream.
That's the dream, brother. That's the dream. But yeah, having your own studio is can be a blessing, but sometimes it can be a headache. But they say if you love it, it won't be as hard, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard on the flip side though, what's the term? What's the saying that if you love something or if Oh, geez, I can't remember. Basically, if you end up doing it for a living, you're going to quit loving it. But I don't think that's the case across the board.
Yeah. But that could be true. It's got to be different. I see a lot of schools shutting down, especially after COVID. A lot of friends just left their
Right.
gyms, just like I'm done. It was a headache anyway. But hey, I ain't mad at it, dude. If we didn't have guys running the gyms, we wouldn't have a place to work out. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Bless
You
those
know,
guys.
big time, man, big time. I couldn't do it. I don't want to. I would never want to do it again. At my age, I've been semi-retired for almost 15 years now.
Oh,
It'll be
wow.
it'll be hard to jump back in. But I had my school. I did the school too, but
Mhm.
that wasn't part of the career thing. But it was something I loved to do, but it did burn you out. I like sitting on the sideline drinking bourbon.
Was it a 7 day a week operation?
No, it was 6 days, and it was just
Okay.
yeah, it was just a headache for a while. I mean, I can't say that. I'm not gonna say that. The people were great, and the students were amazing. I love the kids we had. I love some of the adults we had. It was just, I know I was done with it. You know what I mean? I don't think
Uh-huh.
I could have given anything else, so I had to pull out and be done. I know I asked you, so what's your goal with your martial arts career? And you say you want to get better and get healthier and stay healthy. I should say, staying healthy out there. Do you have any tournaments that you in your sights that, hey, I want to compete in this thing? I haven't done it yet, but I want to compete in this tournament.
I do want to do an IBJJF eventually. I We kind of talked about that, but
Yeah.
that's something to do eventually. I wouldn't mind to do another ADCC. Those are fun. I think I mentioned it to you. I did a Jiu-Jitsu a couple of weeks ago. I kind of like the rule set there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
as far as big stuff, just whatever comes up. Hopefully, just to keep competing as long as I can. If I'm 60 and I'm still doing it, I'm going to be happy. Let alone 65, like my teammate.
That's awesome, man. 65 and still out there banging, man.
Oh
Woo!
man, he threw a beautiful Tomonagi. Uh,
Oh,
I didn't even know that was one of his go-tos, and he was actually fighting a bigger fella. The guy was a higher rank than him, and he came in like a bull in a china shop, and my teammate threw him, and it was picturesque. It was like something out of a movie.
those
It
are
was
always beautiful to see because you always see them in the old kung fu movies, them doing them wrong, but it was great to see it. You know?
great.
Like,
Who was it? Captain Kirk too in
oh,
Star
yeah.
Trek. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that
He
was
put
one
the
of his
foot on the
go-tos.
belly. That was a
Yeah,
go-to, you said?
yeah, one of his go-tos.
Oh, man. But that's a good throw, though. That was one of my favorite throws, to catch someone under, because it's just to see their face as you're looking over them as they're rolling over your head. It's kind of funny.
And it happens in slow motion when it happens to you. You're like, there's nothing I can do about this.
But go for the ride, man. Go for the ride.
Tuck and roll.
That's it, man. That's it, brother. That is it, man. Well, you know what? Before we get you out of here, man, and I appreciate you taking the time to come and do this for us. And I enjoy talking to guys like yourself. Seriously, the guys that are just living their lives. And if you listen to some of our old podcasts, some of our so episodes, you're just the same guys like you, but different mindsets here and there, but doing the same thing. And it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. I appreciate that, man. But what now? Do you have any principles you live with that you say, I'm taking this into my day? If you can give anybody in our age group, older guy walking on the mat for the first time, getting off the couch, I want to do something in my life. I'm coming to your place where you train. What do you talk to him about?
Obviously talk to your doctor and make sure it's something that you're not going to have a heart attack your first day out there, and have realistic goals. Again, I know I'm not going to be a a world champion judo player or anything like that. But I'm going out there and competing in tournaments. And I hate the saying, but sometimes it is what it is, and just accept it. Find something that you love, whether it's judo or jujitsu or some kind of striking martial art. Get into something that you're going to enjoy. If it's just hitting a bag for an hour, um, I've never. There's been plenty of times that I've wished I had gone to the gym, but I rarely, if ever, regret going to the gym, and it's a nice release from your day.
And that's really good, man. Real quick here, man. Before we get you out of here, tell us all the things where people can reach you, all your socials, all your. I want to make sure you put your YouTube channel so people can watch your videos and all that kind of stuff.
Just Judoka Kid. That's it. You can find me. Look at Judoka Kid.
That's
I'm not a kid
awesome.
anymore, but that's it.
on all the social media is just Judoka Kid, huh? I
That's
like
it.
it.
Yeah, you can
It's
find me there.
simple and to the point, man. And that's your
Yeah.
YouTube too, where all the stuff. How many videos you have on YouTube? About 1,000?
No, it's a probably 100 or so, a couple hundred maybe. I
That's
don't know.
damn
I kind of
good.
well, and it's not all me. It's like my teammates and different things like that. Just little shorts. And like I said, it's not top level stuff. It's just recent tournaments that I've maybe done something that I was happy about. Uh, One of my teammates did a really awesome throw. I'll throw it up there. I had a buddy that competed for the first time. Um, the judo tournament that I was talking about before.
Yeah.
He came out, and I don't know that he'd ever played sports or anything like that, and came out and won both of his matches. He got a really awesome Tani Atoshi and then a
Phew.
nice Tai Atoshi, and I just guy didn't have like anything that resembled any kind of nerves before the matches, and it just stuff like that I throw up there just because I want to promote them because I feel blessed to be a part of their story.
That's cool, man. Yeah, we're gonna look for that. Matter of fact, I'm pulling it up now. I want to watch your videos, man. That's good stuff, man. But brother, listen, I appreciate you taking the time to come here. Love your story, man. Love the things you're doing. John, keep it up, my friend. Hey guys, that's been John Reed. John, you have a great one, my brother. Take care of yourself out there.
Thanks.
All
Bye
right,
bye.
brother. Bye.
Oh man.